Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
I want to have conversations with you as an audience on African traditions and resilience. So welcome to the African Diaspora News Channel. My name is Vuyo Mgwelo, and today, to make sure that you don't miss out on what is about to come for the next couple of weeks, couple of days, because I just want to make sure that you're having a good one. It is Christmas here in South Africa. So hello, let's dive into a topic that's deeply rooted in who we are as people. From our African traditions, despite the influence of Western practices, many of our customs, values, and ways of life remain unchanged. In fact, these traditions are the backbone of our identity. So I'm going to give you an exploration into this and look at 5 ways we can persevere and strengthen them in our modern lives. So taking a look at point 1. So we have language preservations. So one of the most significant makers of our identity is our languages. So in South Africa, we have your Xhosa, your Zulu, your Sotho, Tswana. So in African language, it carries this essence of our culture, our stories, and our values. While English or French, especially in other African continents, it might dominate in our workplaces, at home, and in our communities. We should also continue to teach and speak our indigenous languages to our children, which is something that right now, our future. So many will say, yes, language is everything to keep us connected to our roots, to our traditions, and to our ancestors. And I am going to say exactly, and that is why it is important for us to teach our kids, or your nieces and nephews. It's an act of resistance and pride. So now getting into point 2, and that is celebration, the traditional ceremonies. Or traditional ceremonies like the weddings, the initiations that the Xhosa people actually mostly go to around the month of June and December. It is one of the most kept, tradition that has been fought by so many people, especially saying that it's killing our children. So even as the Western practices creep in, we can persevere these events by ensuring they reflect our unique customs, whether it's wearing traditional attires or preparing local dishes. Now, these moments are opportunities to connect within our roots. And one will say, you know what, actually, I love attending those ceremonies. They remind me of my childhood. They remind me of my favorite food, or the food that my grandmother used to cook. Absolutely. And it's important that we pass that love on the next generation, because if you don't, that means it stopped with you or it ended with you. Supporting African spirituality, and that is going to be our point number 3, where we have our ancestors' spiritual practices that have guided us and our communities all for centuries. Many now practice religions introduced due to colonialism. So we must still honor our African spirituality, whether through traditional healing, ancestral rituals, or connecting with nature. Now, these practices help us also to maintain the balance and the sense of identity. You might be saying, yes, visiting traditional healers still has its place in our lives, but are you doing it in the right way? I'm not going to go deep into this one because it will bring a lot of fighting when it comes to Christianity and traditional practices in Africa. And many will say, but Christianity was brought by the Western. And if we have to go deep into that, we will have to go the whole day. But yes, it does help us with the knowledge and the wisdom of our heritage. Getting into point number 4 is promoting African art and storytelling. Now, if you remember, we had spoken and went to show you the story of Dr. Esther Mahlangu, where her story is all about the arts and the culture, how she started, the beadwork, the crafting, and all that continues and should be continued to celebrate and invest in these expressions. Support local artisans, attend cultural festivals, and tell your children stories about our heroes or even your grandmother. And that is also making sure and maintaining the history of our traditions. And that's how we can preserve these stories and to continue to share them. So Timeless tools for education and empowerment are the key to continue to telling these stories. And the last point will be embracing African unity, which is finally one of the most beautiful aspects of our heritage, Ubuntu, the idea that I am because we are. Let's prioritize building strong communities and supporting one another. Whether it's through communal farming, helping a neighbor, or mentoring youth, we must leave out our values of togetherness and compassion. And you at home might even try and be like, okay, that is one of the most important things, especially in today's world. And I feel like in today's world, we have let go of that. A neighbor is embarrassed to go and ask because you might ask them to give in, and just after you have left, they talk about you. So let's hold on to those ideas and celebrate each other and supporting each other in communities. So I'm going to say also, it is such an amazing thing to say thank you for sharing the most of the reflection with me, so that your kids can continue sharing these heritage in their lives. And this is one of the most topic that we can touch on. I know it is sensitive and controversial issues regarding gender roles and cultural adaptations and religious interpretation. I will presented all these points to you. So let me know in the comments down below. Let's comment, let's share your views, and what do you think that still needs to be done, and especially to making sure that we preserve our culture as Africans. My name is Vuyo Mgwelo, and I'm coming to you all the way from Johannesburg for the African Diaspora News channel. And I'll see you next time.